1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Standout 7.
Over the next 7 minutes, we take a look back at the week that saw tragedy strike in the English Channel, a new COVID variant from Botswana trigger the red list, Boris rambling about Peppa Pig, and Adele live from the Palladium. This is the Standout 7 from the Smart 7. Don't forget to hit the follow button to get daily updates at 7 a.m. The ongoing migrant crisis in the English Channel took a terrible turn on Wednesday as a boat capsized and sank, leaving at least 27 people dead. Prime Minister Boris Johnson chaired an emergency Cobra meeting in the wake of the tragedy, and he pointed the finger squarely at trafficking gangs who make money from smuggling people across one of the world's busiest shipping lanes.
It's so important that we leave no stone unturned to demolish the business proposition of the human traffickers and the gangsters. Now is the time for us all to step up, to work together, to do everything we can to break these gangs who are literally getting away with murder.
Labour's Shadow Home Secretary Nick Thomas-Symonds was pointing fingers at the government, saying that the issue needs a much wider view, including tackling the problem at source.
It really now has to act as the most tragic of wake-up calls to make sure that people are not out on the water in these terrible makeshift boats. We need that wider joint law enforcement work with the French authorities to be disrupting further away from the coast. And in addition to that, we do need to look at safe and legal routes.
Thursday saw the UK pass 10 million cases of COVID-19, but there's no good news on the horizon as a new variant's been discovered emerging from Botswana. Its official label is variant B11529, and it's a variant of concern because it has an extremely high number of variations. It's also been identified in South Africa and a single case in Hong Kong. Health Secretary Sajid Javid immediately reintroduced the red list for travel, with 6 African countries flagged, including South Africa and Botswana. The World Health Organisation's Dr. Maria van Kerkhove, the COVID-19 technical lead, shared what experts know.
What we do know is that this variant has a large number of mutations. So right now, researchers are getting together to understand where these mutations are in the spike protein and the furin cleavage site, and what that potentially may mean for our diagnostics, our therapeutics, and our vaccines.
The last few weeks have not been great for Prime Minister Boris Johnson, with rows over social care, the continuing row over Tory sleaze, and rising migrant crossings. So the last thing he needed when he turned up at the annual CBI conference to give a speech to business leaders from across the country was for things to go off the rails. But boy oh boy did they. It started when he lost his place in the script.
With fantastic broadband, forgive me.
He eventually regained his composure, though, and returned to the serious matter of business with the help of beloved children's cartoon Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig world is very much my kind of place. Who would have believed that a pig that looks like a hairdryer would now be exported to 180 countries with theme parks both in America and in China, as well as in the New Forest?
There were also car noises, references to the Ten Commandments, and, well, you know things haven't gone too well when the first question political correspondents ask you afterwards is basically, "You okay, hun?"
I thought it went over well.
Another big trial reached a verdict in the US on Wednesday. This time, 3 white men were convicted of murder of 25-year-old Ahmad Arbery.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty.
He was killed on February the 23rd last year while jogging through a white neighbourhood. The father, son and their neighbour, who chased him and ultimately shot him, are all facing the prospect of life in prison. They also face federal hate crime charges next year. The killing gave rise to social protests and the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement. Ahmad's father spoke to the press after the trial and says he doesn't want to see any family have to go through this.
We conquer that lynch mob. Yeah. For real, all life matter. All life. Yes. Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this. Amen. I don't want to see no daddy watch a kid get less than shot down like that. It's all our problem. So, hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it and making this place a better place for all human beings.
Still to come on the Standout 7, NASA's Planetary Defender launches and the Tory MP who thinks a female Doctor Who's causing a crime wave. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Island Edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. Disaster movies love the idea of an asteroid ploughing into Earth. NASA, they're not so keen. And so they've launched a new mission called DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test. It's a spacecraft designed to crash into a small asteroid called Dimorphos, a small moon orbiting a near-Earth asteroid called Didymus. The gloriously titled NASA Planetary Defender, Dr. Kelly Fast, explained why they picked this particular asteroid to test the idea on.
The nice thing about the Didymos system is, it poses no threat to Earth. We couldn't even make it a threat to Earth. It's a wonderful laboratory that nature's kind of put right at the right place, the right time. It's nice to do this at a time when we don't need it, just so if there is a time that we need it, it's not the first time we've ever tried to kind of test some of the techniques that might be in the toolbox.
Thursday marked the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, but one Tory MP, Nick Fletcher, was more concerned about role models for men. He made this peculiar point during a Westminster Hall debate and was then suitably appalled that people misunderstood his nuanced point about the need to celebrate masculinity.
One only needs to look at the discussion surrounding who will play the next James Bond. And it's not just James Bond. In recent years, we have seen Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Luke Skywalker, The Equalizer, all replaced by women. And men are left with the Crays and Tommy Shelby. Is there any wonder we are seeing so many young men committing crime?
Yeah, it's such a shame that once a female plays a role that all copies of the male actor playing that role are immediately destroyed. I wonder who's going to play Nick Fletcher next. Adele's return with a new album 30 has been pretty dramatic. She hosted an audience with Adele which was part concert and part interview with her celeb mates. There was also a surprise appearance from a Year 7 English teacher.
You're bloody cool and so relatable and likeable that I really look forward to my English lessons.
Yeah, because she's here tonight.
Mum, can you believe it? She's over there, she doesn't want to be filmed. Oh, now I've got to get my old face redone.
After all that, she needed a quick makeup repair job. So who did she get to take her place? Beyonce? Ed Sheeran? Not quite. Alan Carr.
This goes out to all the lovers.
When the rain
This has been the Standout 7, the best of the week from the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. with the Sunday 7. Have a great rest of your weekend.